Hey, this is going to be another Hack the Box machine write-up. Let's get into it. All right, starting right off, I actually have a visual workflow and a detailed write-up over at my blog, which I've posted in the comments down below if you want to follow along. All right, so we'll start off with an Nmap scan, and we have port 22 and 80 open, so it's a small attack surface. Let's check out the website. All right, looking at the website, you can see it's pretty basic. It just looks like something simple. The interactive function to find is under how to participate. You click the contact form, and this will be essential to our attack surface. In here, this website field is actually vulnerable to cross-site scripting request. So you can pass an XSS payload with your local URL, and you'll actually get a request 200 to verify that on the other end of this form is a administrator or bot who's actually clicking the link. Okay, in this example here for directory discovery and crawling the website, I'm using OWASP Zap. You'll notice a specific URI down here that says c.htb themes bike image velix 71 new logo tip png. So this has the tell mark signs of just the default file. So if you take that and actually run that string through Google, you'll quickly end up on a website that lets you know this is a part of the Wonder CMS template. What else is interesting to note is if you didn't find the version of Wonder CMS, which I didn't originally, because I didn't use the right list when doing this directory discovery, you'll notice here that this theme goes back 2017. So with that being said, let's go ahead and look for an exploit. Okay, check this out. So when you come across the CVE, it looks great. It's a RCE and it's using cross-site scripting, which is great because we know that there's a cross-site scripting attack surface in the contact form. And the instruction show takes 3 arguments. So the URL where Wonder CMS is installed, the attacker's machine, and attacker's port. Let's take a look at the code to see exactly what it's looking for, just in the POC here. But we do see that this exploit actually generates a cross-site scripting file that we have to then pass to our target, which in this case is on the contact form. As soon as the admin or logged in user clicks the link, a few background requests are made, and that is it. The shell is uploaded and sorted. Let's take a look at the code. Taking a look here, we'll actually notice what the exploit is looking for is the directory /wondercms/login URL. So check this out. Sorry, I've just highlighted it so you can see it right here within the code. It's line number 10. Wow, check that out. Going to TAC login URL actually works and brings up your website. Great, so we have our endpoint. Let's go ahead and download this exploit and run it. But we're gonna have to first modify it. Let me show you. Here's what you have to modify in order to make this work. First, you need to get rid of line 18 and just replace this with the name of our endpoint. It actually took a while for me to figure this out, but I was able to figure it out by using the just a JavaScript browser like compiler that just interpreter that looked through it and just flagged the error. So I'm just getting rid of it because it just returns some weird characters. Next, we don't have DNS because we are using the Pwnbox. And what we're going to do is download this exploit locally and just point the payload parameters to our machine, which is line 20 on the script. All right, with that being in place, our exploit is now ready and has the necessary modifications. Oh, looks like I just forgot a directory / there. Okay, awesome. Here I'm calling the exploit our target with the login URL, our attacking host, and the port we're listening on with a reverse shell. You'll see here it generates a payload, which will pass to the form. All right, here we are passing the payload into the website parameter, and now we're just gonna wait a couple minutes. Okay, it didn't work. I just realized I forgot to put a line terminator and put our local host, or sorry, our target in quotation marks. There we go. Let's go ahead and rerun. All right, and there it is. You can see the request to our hosts for that payload, which you'll, again, make sure you download locally. It's in the GitHub script, and then our listener catches the reverse shell here. Awesome, let's talk about horizontal movement. The first thing we're gonna do is run linpeas on this box because I find linpeas is fantastic for local enumeration. So let's check it out. All right, linpeas is running. Let's give it a minute. Okay, looking under active ports, you can see here that there's actually a service running locally on 8080. So we're gonna go ahead and ultimately try and get access to this, but first we need access to this box. If you manually browse over To the directory var www.c data, we're actually going to find a database file there. And that database file does show up in LinPs. You can see it right here. Look at that. There's a lot to look through, but not so much that it's impossible. Let's go check it out. All right here, you're actually going to see a password, and you just have to crack this to get the password. And from there, we can just try it against all the users. Okay, you will eventually get the password with John the Ripper. And once you do, go ahead and log into the target as user Amy. And don't forget to port forward port 8080, which we noticed earlier when we were doing our enumeration. Let me show you what's on that webpage. All right, it brings us to a login screen. Let's log in with the credentials we already have. It brings us to this system monitor dashboard with several functions. The first thing we're going to do is open up Burp Suite to intercept and look at what these systems are doing when we submit one of these buttons or functions. What we can see here is the input is the file path of whatever we pass. We can test something like this for command injection to hope that when this is parsed in the backend, it's escaped and passes a command. I referenced the OWASP command injection website, which had a payload that worked. Let me show you. See here, I've passed a URL encoded command to cat the Etsy shadow file, and it returned with our results. Now, we could try and elevate this to a reverse shell, which works, but the system kicks you off. So it forces you to set up your SSH key, which is a hassle. And I was lazy. So instead, I just passed the command to inspect the flag file, which was just to cat root.txt, and you'll find it. But that's it. So that's just going to be a wrap for this box. Just the quick and easy, straight bill of goods, as simple and as quick and efficient as I could without getting too into the detail. I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.